gives us the grace to go on. And I think giving grace to others, and especially giving grace to ourselves, I think that's so important.
Thank you so much, Neil, for coming to us. Just turn it over to you.
And I just got permission for as long as I want. Settle in, folks. Oh man, really wasn't that good of a joke. I'm joking myself. Excuse me. I forgot my Bible today, which, some type of missionary terribleness. Usually I don't bring my Bible to church anyway because I'm wrangling kids the whole service. So I borrowed this Bible and it's quite large and thick, so I feel like it makes me very holy and spiritual. Yeah, I am so happy to be with you guys again today. I love coming here. You guys aren't my top favorite church, but you're pretty close. I really enjoy it. Right? I should give the context in it. I was telling Brandon about it. There's a church in Vancouver that has, it's comprised, I'd say 80 to 85% are adults with some kind of specialty, whether physical or emotional, intellectually, and it's my absolute favorite church in the whole world. But I love coming to see you guys. For those of you who don't know me, don't know what I do, there's probably just a couple of you. I am Naomi. I live in Guatemala. I've been down there now for 10 years, which is incredible to think about because it's a quarter of my life. Please don't do the math. I run the Treasures of God Children's Home. We've been open now for 5 years. In April 2nd, we completed 5 years of being licensed by the Guatemalan government to take in children with special needs. We have room for 10. Here it is. I'm just going to get it over with right now. We have 9 right now. Because we lost baby Emma in December. And so, I've cried so much over her. I thought that I could get through at least one without crying, but baby Emma was 3, and she was missing the majority of her brain, which didn't hold her back at all. The neurologist told us that she would never smile, laugh, hear, see, do anything. And she didn't ever see, but she did hear, and her favorite thing was to be danced with. So if you pick her up and start dancing around, she would smile every time. Her death was not unexpected, but it hurt nonetheless. And the best part is she's with Jesus right now, and she's whole and happy. So that's a good thing. A couple of weeks after she died, I said to Lupita one day, what do you think baby Emma's doing right now? And she said, I think she's sitting with Jesus and he's reading her a story. So that's what I choose to believe is going on right now. So we have room for 10 kids. We have been licensed for 10 kids. We now have 1 space open. I haven't felt ready yet to take in that extra child. We have kids, usually our kids come to us and they stay. In Guatemala, there's not a lot of resources for kids and families with family members who have special needs. And so the court system, the judges will call us and say, can you take this child? Can you take them in or we don't, depending on our capacity. And that is what I've been doing for the last 5 years. I have a fantastic team that works with me, nannies, psychologists, social worker, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We've got all of this going because what we want to do is not only just take care of them and provide for their physical bodies, but their emotional and spiritual needs as well. So we are family to them. I'm the mama. This is proved by the fact that about 5 or 6 days after I got here, I got a text from one of the nannies saying that Luce, who is my 9-year-old, is refusing to eat all vegetables while I'm gone. So it's different when mom's around. That's just very clear with my children. So it's a good home. Our nannies are the tias or the aunties, and we really try and make a good family home for them. In the last year, we've had a few changes. Last time I was here, I was talking about how we moved to San Lucas, which is closer to Guatemala City. It's only about half an hour on a very good traffic day, which would be 3 o'clock in the morning. It's only about half an hour away. And that's been great. It's been phenomenal. We've had a few hospitalizations the day after we moved, and Emma was admitted to the hospital, spent a week there, so it was fantastic that we've had the access to this. We have an occupational therapist now, which is doing an amazing job. Our speech therapist is doing an amazing job. Our house, it's difficult to find requirements for us. So we need a one-level house, that's our requirement. CNA, which is the governing body that gives us the license for the home, says that we have to have a green area outside, so like a yard of some sort, and walls around it, just kind of all those safety things. And finding that in that area in our budget was really difficult. So we had a kind of a 3-bedroom with a little office and a maid's quarters, which basically fit my bed and nothing else, literally. And we lived there for a year altogether, 14 of us, full time. And it became a little small. We didn't have room for therapies. School was being done in the garage. Therapies were being done outside. If it was cold or rainy, it's difficult. So I found a house just a couple of blocks over, and I moved into that house with 4 of my girls, Rosalinda, Lupita, Shirley, Marcy. You get the Spanish going and it comes out. Those are my 4 kids that are a little more independent. They can walk, they can change themselves, I still haven't found the right phrase for it, follow orders. It sounds like little puppies that I have following me, but they're the ones that that are a little more independent. They're learning to talk, they're learning to be more, integrate more into kind of a family. They're the ones that have the most chance of being independent when they're older. So this has given us space at the other house to have a therapy sensory room, to have school inside the house instead of in our garage. I have a bedroom that fits more than just my bed, which is fantastic. My clothes would sit out in the hallway, which is kind of awkward. So it's been a really good change for us. And then the changes that I've seen in the girls that have come with me have been phenomenal. They feel more like a family. We're allowed to, we don't have to follow the schedule quite as closely. When you have a lot of kids, you have to have a schedule. So you make sure that everyone gets bathed and fed and et cetera, et cetera. So at our house, with just me and the 4 girls, it's more like a little family. We go every day to the other house, we have lunch with the girls, we spend the afternoon with them. In the morning, we now have some of the changes that we made last year is that we have completely changed everybody's education experience, which has actually been a really fantastic thing. We have 3 girls that go to a school outside. It's a regular school. One of our kids is in a modified curriculum. The other 2 are in just regular kindergarten and grade 3. Lupita has made a little best friend, and she's one that has struggled traditionally to kind of make that. Her school experience last year was very negative, and so we ended up pulling her out and homeschooling for the rest of the year. Marcy's now in kindergarten, and she's doing pretty good. I had a parent-teacher interview, and the teacher said to me, Marcy's not sharing very well. I thought, well, number 1, she's 5. Number 2, this is her first time kind of out of our house in a school setting. So I said, oh yeah, what's up? And she said, oh, some other kid's been stealing her juice box, and she's not happy about it. Why he stole her juice box? I think she's fully justified in being angry. Apparently the teacher thought she should just be okay with that. She definitely doesn't share her crayons or scissors or anything else like that too. So she's a very normal child. But I said to the teacher, I'm like, no. I said, if she doesn't finish it, throw it out. I'd rather be thrown out than have it stolen. So school's been going well. The other 6 girls, we have school in our house. We have a special ed teacher come in, and she is phenomenal. She has done just amazing things for our kids. A lot of sensory stuff for the kids that need sensory. A lot of, she's starting with the colors and shapes and letters and numbers for those that, we have a couple that I believe will go on to have a little bit more education in that area. Hopefully be able to read. Veronica is 6. She doesn't have a lot of body movement, but her mind is pretty much of average intelligence. And so I've said to the teacher, this is your goal, is to get her reading. She was actually the one in the video that grabbed a piece of chalk. So she's been working on fine motor skills, and she's doing amazing. What has really worked is Cheetos. She loves Cheetos, and so what we would do is usually we feed her in her mouth because she only really had shoulder movement. She didn't have a lot of wrist or elbow or grabbing skills. So we would start, I did because I'm really mean. The nannies thought I was really mean, but I'm like, too bad. So I put the Cheetos in front of her on the table and she had to grab them and put them in her mouth. And I mean, heck, if it was me, I would have done it. So she now can, it started off really difficult. I mean, it was really hard for her to do it. And she can now just pick it up and just bring it right up to her mouth and eat it. Of course, she'll only do it with Cheetos. Anything else, she's out. But we're starting, we're seeing huge progress with her, and I'm so incredibly proud of her. So we're in the other house, we've got the education. What else has changed? Emma has left us. Because we've kind of hit the 5-year mark now, 5 years is the home, and actually my anniversary of arriving in Guatemala is the same day that we were licensed for the children's home. So it's kind of a fun day for me. I completed 10 years in Guatemala April 2nd, and 5 years of being licensed in the children's home. And so I got all old and reflective, and wow, you know, look where we've come, and look what we've done. And that saying, I have never understood more. The days are long and the years are short. I mean, I'm just tired, guys. At the end of every day, you have children or have raised children, good job. It is rough, man. And so you just, day by day, sometimes just survival. And then all of a sudden you have, you know, this little person who was 7 months old, 7 pounds, 7.5 pounds when she came, was supposed to die, is now this 5.5-year-old that's getting grumpy because someone steals her juice boxes because she's in kindergarten. And she's wild, and she's learning to talk. And God has done amazing, amazing things with my kids. I want to talk a little more in depth about 2 of them. Luz Maria was 5 years old, well, we guessed. She was one of the ones that we had to, she was abandoned, and they had to do an x-ray of the bones in her hand and kind of guess her age based on bone growth. So they put her age at about 5 years old, and when she came to me, she was blind, deaf, had seizures, and would cry all the time, like hours. I'm not even kidding, 2 to 3 hours. People would write nasty notes on our gate in chalk about this crying child that we had inside. It was horrific. Nobody wanted to be near her. When I first met Luz, she was in the hospital in a town quite far away. And so we went to pick her up, and I was sitting down at the social worker's office, and Luz came in with the nurse, and she just came up and sat right on my lap. And the nurse was like, oh, she doesn't touch anybody on my lap. Clearly, I am, you know, superior to all other people. Then I went home, and I'll help her with Luz. She would refuse touch. She bit me here once. Have you ever been bitten right here? It hurts, man. She's bit me, she's kicked me, she's headbutted me, she's, you name it, she is in. If we could get her into the Special Olympics, I would put her in wrestling. She is phenomenal with her strength. So we get home, this tiny little 5-year-old who was crying, can't see anything, can't hear anything, has no idea where she is, you guys. She has no idea who I am. She has no idea why her mother is not here with her anymore. Side note, her mother left her at the hospital, okay? So at least she wanted her to be okay. She was abandoned, we don't know who her mother is, and I hope that her mom knows that she's okay today. But, can you imagine? I mean, we couldn't even say to her, hey, you're gonna be okay, you're loved, God loves you, you're safe, we're gonna give you food. She would just run around in the front yard, and literally run, even though she couldn't see a thing. She would make her way around, she got to know the yard really well. She'd take off her shoes and she'd just go running. This child has no fear whatsoever. So what I would do, I remember I had a friend who has a son with autism, and she said that deep pressure worked really well for him. So I just started doing the deep pressure. I'd get her in my lap, and I'd wrap my arms and legs around her, and I'd squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and she'd scream and scream and scream, and the nannies probably thought I should have been taken away. But time after time after time of just loving on her and that physical contact that she had no idea what to do with because she hadn't experienced that physical contact before. Started to then accept it and started to crave it. So if you come to my house, she will come up and she'll touch your face to kind of get to know you. She really likes men with beards because that's weird. I guess she can't feel my view. I pluck often enough. I don't know. She hears anymore. So she has this she loves to touch faces. And then she'll wrap her arms around your neck and she'll get her legs up around your waist and just not let go until I come over and rescue you. So she now just craves that physical contact. She loves to hug, she loves to love on people. And still when she gets a little bit upset about something, if I forget that people who are outside our family might think it looks a little funny. So we had some visitors once and Luce was freaking out. So I just got down on the ground in the grass with her and I wrapped my arms and legs around her. There's a picture of me doing it actually, because they thought it was so funny. And then they were like, but then she calmed down and she was okay. So she knows me, she knows my touch. A year, I can't remember exactly. Sometime after she came to us, and she was blind, like completely blind. I touched her physical eyeball because I wanted to see how blind she was. And she didn't see the finger coming until I poked her in the eye. And then, of course, more crying ensued, but she cried anyway, so it doesn't matter. The neurologist told us that probably she had a virus that got into the brain and wrecked the connection. So there's nothing physically wrong with her eyes and ears, but the brain wasn't reading those signals. And so we started to notice that she would notice people up close and she would startle because she started to see things. And it's this very gradual progression, and now she sees everything except what's about here. So she'll still, trip over things or step on her sisters if they're lying on the floor. That may or may not be intentional, I don't know. We'll blame it on the blindness. I don't think she has any kind of peripheral vision here, but she sees us and comes running. She also didn't hear at all when she first came. She now knows her name. If I call her from across the yard, she'll come running and laughing, get her arms and legs around me. And God has restored her sight and her vision. It's an absolutely phenomenal thing to watch and to be on the sidelines of. She's learning to use the bathroom. She traditionally has not used the washroom. The first time she made eye contact with me, it's very clearly in my head. She was sitting at the table and I'd come behind her and I was doing whatever. And she looked at my eyes, and that was the first time that I felt seen by her. And I started crying, and I started screaming and clapping and yelling, and yes, and this was this wonderful thing. So then she looked down, and then she looked right back up at me, right in my eyes. And so I would scream and laugh and cry and do all the things again, and she realized that she was making this connection with me. And it was absolutely phenomenal. So now I can say to her, hey Luce, look me in the eyes. And she'll just look me in the eyes. And it's so wonderful to be able to connect with her like that because she doesn't have language yet. She's learning commands, she's learning lots of things. She's really doing a wonderful job. She no longer cries for hours at a time. She cries when she has to eat vegetables, for example. So she's like any other 9-year-old, or almost 40-year-old for that matter. I eat my vegetables too. So when I look at where she was in this 5-year-old, and she's now this 9-year-old, 9.5-year-old, that is just this wonderful part of her family, and to see how God has brought her there has been phenomenal. Lupita came about the same time as Luce. She came about 3 weeks after Luce, and she's in the same age. Their birthdays are about 3 weeks apart as well. So Lupita came to me as a 5-year-old. She has a syndrome, Cruzon syndrome, I think it's called, where basically the bones in her head fused a little early. So what happened was her eyes, there wasn't enough space for her eyes, so they started to come out a little bit, and her head's a little bit pointed at the top. It's really not that big of a thing. But when I look at pictures of her when she came, she just looked sickly. She looked a little bit pallid. She was very tiny, you guys. And I don't think she grew for the first year with us vertically at all. She just had been so mistreated and so abused and made to feel so just not worthy of anything. She didn't speak in our home for like 4 days. It took her a solid 10 months to finally be able to speak to someone outside of our home once she finally got comfortable with us. She would talk inside the house all the time. She just talks. She's good. But outside the house, she was so fearful of what people's reactions would be. She had learned this coping mechanism of to get any kind of positive attention from adults, she would pretend to be stupid. And that she couldn't do it. And so then adults would do that thing for her, and that was her only form of receiving positive attention. It still continues a little bit today. Maybe she's just lazy now, who knows? Again, I'm not going to blame her for it. But she just was this child who was so broken and unloved. And I felt 100%, and I was 100% unqualified to care for this child. I knew how to care for the physical needs of kids, and I wanted just kids with cerebral palsy. I mean, most people say, oh, what you do is so hard, and what about, no, man, the CP kids are easy. You take care of them and you love them, and it's wonderful. It's the kids who are broken and hurting and need to be healed inside. Those are the hard ones, you guys. And by the grace of God, this child is now 9 years old, 9.5. She declared on her birthday, I'm 9, so I'm practically an adult now. She's like, did you see all the chores I did today? I folded my clothes, and I helped with supper, and I gave Marcy a bath. I'm practically an adult. Yes, so then the next day when she had a little temper tantrum, I'm like, remember those words from yesterday? No temper tantrums allowed when you're an adult. But I think I've used that one a little bit to death. Unfortunately, she's like, yes, I know. She's an amazing child. She loves to help her sisters. She's also very normal in that her little sister drives her insane because she always wants her around. My sister was the same. She was 5 years difference, the same difference between Lupita and Marcy. And I didn't want much to do with my little sister when she was younger. But Lupita handles it with so much more grace than I did. She has so much empathy. She will clean a slobbery face without a second thought. She will, if a child in a wheelchair, her head has fallen down, she'll pick it up without a second thought. She notices those things about the kids, and then she fixes it. And that is God healing. That's not. I can love on her, and I do, and I love to do it. But God is healing those little broken pieces inside, and all she wants to do in life is to be a mama and adopt children who don't have their homes. So she's come from this child from brokenness. She knows what she's getting into. And for at least 2 years, she has solidly told me, I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to adopt kids. It's just phenomenal, the changes that can be made in 5 years, what love does, you guys. So that's a little bit about Lupita. She's now in school with her little best friend, and she's starting to get a little attitude. It's cute from far away. Not so much up close. The other day, I said something to her like, oh, don't do that, just normal. And she stopped and huffed away to her room. I'm like, what just happened? And then all the mothers who've gone before me with daughters enlightened me about what is to come in the next several years. Dang! But that's just normal. She wants a phone. She wants her own iPad. She doesn't have it, let me just tell you. She's just this normal little kid. And sometimes her brokenness still comes out, and sometimes it's just being a turdy little kid. But she knows emphatically that she is loved by us, and she knows that she's part of the family. And it's incredible. It's been incredible to watch all these 5 years. We're in the future where we're kind of headed. I spoke a little bit last year about needing land. Didn't get very far last year. I looked at several pieces. They're quite expensive, unfortunately. But what we want to do is have a piece of land, have a permanence for these kids. So if something happens to me right now, they're in a rental. Nobody else is, pick up the slack. So if we have a house and we can build it on our own land, it's in the name of the ministry, then these girls know that they have a place for life. We want probably about 4 acres. We're going to build the girls a home. And what we need to do is build a sturdy, accessible house. So our kids with wheelchairs, basically the wheelchairs don't get past the dining room. The dining room kind of leads to our outdoor deck. So the nannies are carrying the kids around, those that don't walk, because we have no other, we can't get them into the house and into bedrooms. One of my little girls, Lady, is 8 years old, and she reaches just above the shoulders of my shortest nanny, which she's pretty short, it doesn't take much. But this nanny is now hefting these girls around, and it's hard to be back, and our shower capability is not stellar, and they don't complain, and they never will. But it's hard. I'm a nurse. I know what it was like. So we need to build. I met with an architect actually this week, and I'm super excited because he's going to draw up some plans, and he, had ideas for the showers and all this kind of stuff that we're going to do. And so hopefully soon I'll have kind of a visual representation of what we need. We need an adult house because Anastasia is now 17. She turned 17 in January. When they turn 18, they're no longer part of the government. My responsibility. There are no places for her to go. other than unspeakable places that you wouldn't send anyone to. So we need an adult house for when these girls turn 18. Once she turns 18, we're still going to keep her in the house, but CNA no longer recognizes it kind of as part of us, and so we need a safe place for them to go. We need to build a house for them. We want to have a garden. I hated having a garden as a kid. I had to pull the weeds, and it was the worst thing ever, but we're going to make my kids do it. Because dirt is therapeutic, right? We're going to have chickens for eggs. We're going to have goats for milk. We're going to have dogs and pets running around, and these kids are going to start being involved in it. We're going to have an accessible playground with swings where the wheelchair can roll right onto the swing, and they can play and run around like crazy people. We'll have a little guardhouse because we need security, and so we need to build quite a big wall. Usually it's a block wall with a bunch of razor wire on top, and then a guard family will live at the gate and be responsible for our safety and help out with the maintenance of the house and that kind of stuff. And I hope for a family actually, so that they could become part of us and integrate with us, and their kids will play with my kids. And we'll also do the daycare. The daycare is still very much in the works. We want to be able to have kids. At least 2 of my kids are with us because their family loves them so much, but have no resources whatsoever. They have no support from their family or from the community. And so they had to give their kids up. And they still come to visit them. I pay their bus fare so that they can come and visit. And if we can do daycare where people can come, bring their kids, we would go pick them up in a van because public transport is very difficult. Their kids can stay there, they can receive therapies, medication, food. The parents can then go off. Often it's a single mother family. Quite frankly, the dad takes off because clearly this is the mother's fault, right? This child has been born because of something wrong that the mother did wrong. She either was too angry during her pregnancy, or she didn't eat the right things, or she's done something to anger God and he has given this child as a punishment. I hate that. We all have worth and purpose, and it doesn't matter if we walk or talk or we're tall or short or a little rounder as the years go by. God has made us with a purpose, and He has made all of us with a purpose. And maybe it's not as obvious. We all know the story from John 9 about the blind man. And they asked Jesus, who sinned that this man was born blind? Him or his parents? What's the response? Nobody. This was done purposely by God so that His works would be displayed later on. Here's why I brought the Bible. Psalm 139:13. For you created my inmost being. So he's talking to God. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days were ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How do you tell a mother that this wonderful, beautiful, perfect child has been born? It's her fault. This is a wonderful thing. And so, as part of the daycare, we want to have a support group. And we want to get these parents in there and say, look, you are doing a fantastic job. This is hard. We're beside you in that. Look, this mother is always also struggling with this. This mother, and share our experiences, because it's so shameful in Guatemala to have this happen. It's so shameful. And these parents hide their kids. If they love them enough to keep them and care for them, they hide them in their houses because they're met with just such disdain. I am met with disdain sometimes with my kids. The area that we live right now, our neighbors want us out. They wanted us out from the minute we moved in. They were going to have a vote the first week to get us out. And the Lord intervened and we're still there. And I hate it. I hate being there because I know they don't want us. They don't say hi to us. It's just very obvious. They fight over parking. Stupid things, because we're a blemish in their life. But it's part of why we're there, right? We want to show people the worth that these kids have, that God has made us and made us with this wonderful worth. So we're going to have the houses, we're going to have the daycare. In order to get this done, I can clearly not do this alone. So at this point, I need some help. People think I'm quite the super Wonder Woman. They've not seen me up close running the ministry. They've not seen me yell at my kids. They've not seen me, get irritated with the staff. It's a lot of work, and I love it. I love it. I love it. But I'm getting to the point that if we're going to move this ministry forward, we need some partners. I need somebody who's going to come down, and either single person or couple to come down and help move the daycare forward. The land will be big enough that we can start a second house if someone were so to come down and be the family for those kids, like I am for my kids. We need somebody who, preferably with some construction experience, to come and oversee the building of the house. Make sure it's really well built, that it's going to support the lift system that we need, that the roof isn't going to leak in a year, that materials are being used appropriately and not being taken for other projects, if you will. And that would maybe be like a year commitment. So if you know somebody that has this experience, that has the capability, the heart to come and work with us, definitely. I have some brochures in the back. On the back is my email address. It's time now. It's time to start moving forward again and doing more for these kids. We've done an amazing job with the help of God in these past 5 years, but now it's time to look to the next. We also obviously need money. I mean, that's just the cold, hard truth. And so if you guys could be praying, if you have any really rich relatives that want to give their money to anyone, hey, I met this woman, she looks after these amazing kids. We're looking maybe in the $400,000 to $500,000 range to buy land, build a security wall in the first house. So that all needs to come into place. We need the help. And I need your prayers still, you guys. I know you guys, a lot of you have been praying for us, and I'm so thankful for each one of them. We're meeting the goal, right? Like when this all started, before I even started it, I thought it would be cute and fun. I was quite naive, which I think God often does to us when He calls us to something. Hey, Naomi, you're gonna have a lot of fun! And then you get in and it's like, Lord, it's like, well, you're it now. Can't get out. But he is giving me the grace, and He is giving me, most days, the strength. Sometimes He forgets, I think, and I have a bit of a rough day. But we've changed these kids' lives, and the slideshow that I'm about to show you guys right now just kind of highlights where they were when they came to us and where they are now. So thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for the financial support through the year that you guys have done. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for having me. Let me share today with the girls. I do have some coffee in the back, $15. I have more in the car if people were so inclined to want more. My brochures are there. You can sign up for email updates. And if you have any questions, come talk to me.
We don't want your
Guatemala and do this and give your life to this. It's really special. Can we pray for you right now? Lord God, we thank you for Naomi and these wonderful young girls that she has. Lord, we ask that you would bless them, that you would meet every need that they have. God, I ask, Lord, that you would meet their wants as well. Thank you for Naomi, Lord. I pray for just your supernatural provision in everything, God. God, we bless her and we bless the treasures of God Children's Home. We pray that soon that they would be able to get this property and get the things that they need for religion. God, we just ask that your Holy Spirit would be just continuing in your presence there for everything that you